Welcome back to Control Forward. They say justice is blind, but in today's America, she's not just blind. She's gagged, bribed, and told exactly who to look away from. A wrongfully deported father, a gay artist exiled over tattoos, a child trafficker pampered in a federal spa. And the people in power, they're fine with that. For example, Kristi Noem recently calling the release of Wilmar Abrego Garcia a new low. That's rich, coming from someone standing waist deep in political sewage, like it's a hot tub. Gilmar Abrego Garcia was wrongfully deported. He came back to clear his name, and instead of justice, he was slapped with human smuggling charges based on a traffic stop from 2022 with weak evidence. When a Maryland judge ordered his release, the Trump administration and ICE, well, they moved fast. We're deporting him, not to Costa Rica, since he didn't plead guilty, but to Uganda, a country he's never lived in with no legal pathway to return. Why? Because if he disappears there, he can't testify. This isn't due process. It's disappearance in disguise. Andre Hernandez Romero, a gay Venezuelan makeup artist, known for his work, his joy, his truth. In March 2025, he was deported under the Alien Enemies Act, without a hearing, without a lawyer, without finishing his asylum case. The accusation? They said he was tied to a gang because of his crown tattoos. But those tattoos, a tribute to his Christian beliefs according to him and his family. And by the way, the crowns are also positioned above the words mom and dad, not gang culture, but cultural pride. After various months stuck in a Salvadorian prison, Andre is back in the US. He stated he was sexually and physically abused. Wilmar and Andre are just two names, and they weren't alone. That same month, the Trump administration deported 137 Venezuelans and 261 people total, many based off of tattoos, accents, or suspicions, not convictions. This wasn't law enforcement. It was mass erasure campaign, where identity itself becomes a crime. When your culture is criminalized, your existence becomes a target. Now meet Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker of minors. She helped Epstein abuse kids for years. She was sentenced for 20 years in prison, but in 2025, she was moved to a minimum security camp with gardens, dorms, and yoga mats. Why? Just weeks earlier, she sat down with Trump's former defense attorney, now a DOJ official, for a private interview. And now she's rumored to be on Trump's pardon shortlist. She didn't apologize. She didn't reform. She just remained loyal. That's the currency that buys you comfort in this system. Let's pull the thread. This isn't just hypocrisy. It's a deliberate pattern, and it plays on our minds. Let's start with selective justice. Selective justice means justice only applies when it's politically convenient. Obey, you're protected. Disagree, you're punished. Reflect power, you get grace. Challenge it, you get erased. It doesn't care about right or wrong. It only asks, are you useful to me? Now, what is gaslighting? And how does it fuel the cycle? Gaslighting is when they make you doubt your own eyes. This is law and order, they say, while deporting artists and protecting abusers. This is public safety, they say, while caging fathers and cozying up to traffickers. And over time, you start asking yourself, maybe I'm being too emotional. Maybe this is just how it works. No, this is not how it has to work. That confusion you feel, it's not a glitch. It's the strategy. When they can make you question your reality, They don't need to hide the injustice because you'll excuse it for them. Let's be honest. A trafficker gets comfort and maybe a pardon. A wrongfully accused father gets sent where he can't fight back. An artist from the LGBTQ plus community gets deported over a tattoo. This isn't accidental. They call it law and order, but it's really power, rewarding loyalty, punishing difference. If it were law and order, they'd be defending due process, not dismantling it. Because even if you think Wilmar Abrego Garcia is guilty, we wouldn't know it because due process isn't there. And if you feel numb to it, if you're starting to believe it's normal, that's not your fault. That's the gaslight doing its job. But it's not too late to wake up. Here are 4 ways to spot the gaslight, signs that you're being manipulated by power. The first one, double standards. If cruelty is condemned in one case, but excused in another, that's not justice. 2, emotional bait. Are they using fear, disgust, or outrage to short-circuit your logic? 3, weaponized silence. Or critics being deported, discredited, or disappeared instead of debated. 4, language tricks. Are terms like enemy, invasion, or safety used to justify cruelty? And if you're in it, here are 4 ways to break free. How to undo that programming. The first one, ask. I've talked about this in another episode. Would I support this if it were happening to someone I love or just like? 2, name it out loud. Gaslighting works best in isolation. So call it out. Call it what it is out loud. 3, stop defending the indefensible. Comfort is not worth your conscience. And 4, justice isn't about who you like. It's about what's right, even when it's uncomfortable. If you're tired of power playing God, if you're done watching injustice wear a badge and smile, if something in this episode stirred you, don't run from it. Remember, reflect, be brave, and talk about it. I've added references, reflection questions, and tips in the description below. Take your time with it. Skip any that feel too heavy and then come back later if you need to. As always, if you found value in this episode, like, comment, and subscribe. And share so that we can let this episode be the signal to others. Because this was never just about Wilmar Abrego Garcia or Andre Hernandez Romero or Ghislaine Maxwell. It's about us, what we ignore, what we excuse, and what kind of country we're letting this become. Let's control forward.